Right, so another day, another chance, another way, another dance. Today, I'll be discussing to you all about, pretty much, the code, man. What's the code that you're dealing with, everything that you've got. So, so in chapter 6, what we can be dealing with in chapter 6 is we pretty much can be going over, the integration of the front end with the back end, which pretty much implementing user authentication and state management improvements. Really, it involves setting up Axios in the React client, doing HTTP requests to the back end, storing JSON Web Tokens in local storage or secure cookie, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. So we're pretty much creating our back end server. So we create a back end server, but before, so it's pretty much our back end server. So we pretty much gonna be going over like HTTP requests, Axios or React hooks. That's pretty much gonna hook, a back end with all the online Axios that we have. Like for example, our localhost 3000 is pretty much gonna fetch the library, the online library that's got all our info for in regards to like the movies or inflix. So that's pretty much what we're dealing with. So yeah, that's chapter 6. So on to Ernest.
So we're doing server.js.
So as you can see, you got our Axios there, like a API VY movies. Yeah,
Okay, no, sorry, I'm in the wrong thing.
it's fine. It's
Okay,
fine.
right. In our server.js, we start with first by importing our express
Sorry.
and our call
Don't forget debug the thing as well if you can.
to debug what?
The code like run debugger, like breakpoints in our code.
I can give that to you. I'll just run through the code.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Well, setting up our server.js, we first by importing our express and our core
Yep.
and our core middleware, and then we also import our movies from our movie API.reason.js, and then we create a server by calling out a constant of app equals to express. Then when we say app.use call and app.use express.js, we're simply saying call and express.json middleware that expresses that express will use our express.json and its express phrase and it's our JSON facing middleware to enable the server to read and accept JSON to accept JSON in requests body. So and then we use our app.use to this route and then move it, which basically is then specifically initiates our route and this route here and then catches a call and then catch all the 404 error or 404 reads. And then we also have our app.use request, respond, and serve to the next middleware. Who then respond with a status of 404. That's if page.json, and then we give an error of root not found. Then we export our app so that it can be imported by our index.js.
Right, no
Let me
problem.
just use the book for guys. So that was just going through our Express, our server.js, which connects, not yet. I think the movie route will connect. But for now, we're using our call to enable users to read to enable our application to read our API to read our RESTful API from Mflix, which we've introduced already. And then let me just quickly go through index.js. So in our index.js, we're gonna import our app from our server, which I just went through now, and then we're going to import MongoDB, then import dot evn, which is importing our environment, and then I don't think we have this by now in this chapter, but yeah, and we have a sync function, um, which we create a synchronous function to connect to our Mango Atlas, and call function that access our database, which is what this function is going through. We call the the .evn config to load our environment variables. That's what we're doing here. Then we create an instance for Mango client and passes it to our database URL, which will be our client equals to new MangoDB dot Mango client, and then we process our environment. Then we process our environment variables. With this port, we retrieve the port for our environment variables, which would be either port would be equals to the process port or 8,000, and then we have a try catch block here, which connects to our Mango cluster. So we wait for client to connect, then we await for um, our movie DAO to inject to client, and then reviews to inject to client. Then our app dot listen in into our app will be listening at the port, and then gives us, if it does connect, then it gives us a console log that says our server is running on port. It shows us which port, and then we have a catch. Catch A, basically for error, it will catch an error, it will console log the error, and then process exit. Then we have our main dot catch and console log error. Let me just quickly go through the chapter if it introduces another. Okay, well, that's it for now. So that's what our index and our server.js. So basically, here in our server, we creating our application, which will have in this route here, in this route to which we're gonna have our server, and then in our index.js, we're calling our server, and then this is where we actually build and connect our server to our database. So now it's connected and it's functional to each other. So uh, let me quickly start our back end. Is it npm start? Let me quickly. Okay, it's not can see here we've connected successfully to MongoDB, and then we have our server running at uh, localhost 5000. Okay, so let's go test that out. If I go to localhost 5000 and go to this root, what would I have? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, if I visit this route, as you can see, we have our different movies, from our MongoDB. So our application was successfully connected to our backend is fully functional,
Yeah.
if I may say. And yeah, that's our code for chapter 6. You wanna add anything, Capital?
No, no, nothing at all. Nothing, man. I don't want to add
Nothing.
anything. Yeah.
Okay. Um, let's cut this video here and prepare for chapter 7.
Okay, no problem, man.